Hello, everyone,
Yeah.
and welcome to another edition of the National Soccer Coaches Association of Canada Behind the Bench. I'm very happy today to invite back a friend of our association and a friend and a colleague of mine that I met 3 years ago when we hosted our very first convention, Joao Aroso, who was the keynote speaker at that convention. And you know, many of you, perhaps even some of you that have logged in now, might remember, you know, he did a full day and a half of technical sessions on the field, classroom sessions and questions and answer and all of that, and spoke about, you know, his experience. Again, you know, of course, he is the former assistant coach of the Portuguese men's national team. More recently, he was the manager of the Moroccan under-20 men's team. He's been a head coach and assistant coach in many different professional clubs in Portugal, including SC Braga. He's a color commentator on Sport TV in Portugal, and he's a lecturer at the University of Lisbon, a fellow sports scientist like me. So welcome again, Joao. It's great to see you.
Thank you very much, Richard. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a big pleasure to be with you again. Honestly, was great. The experience that I had in 2019 in Toronto was really good. Was short but very intense. I really appreciate the experience. So it's good when people call us back. It means. It means something good, I think, something that we left something positive. So here I am again. Sorry for this misunderstanding from me in the time, a confusion with the time zone, the correspondence to the time in Portugal, and I thought it was at 6 p.m. in Portugal, and in fact was scheduled to 7 p.m. So sorry, I apologize for that.
That's all good. No worries at all. And as I said, it's great to have you back. And I know, I mean, even myself having been there, I really enjoyed your presentations. And I think, you know, someone who has you know, that much experience and also not just experience as a coach, and obviously very good on the field and everything, but I thought you were a really good teacher as well. And you can see that, you know, you have that experience in lecturing and you know, on top of it, that you did it in English, which is not your first language. And
yeah,
I'm sure it's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but yeah, it was great. And we had such a good response. Unfortunately, you know, because of COVID, we haven't gotten around to doing a second convention, but we are actually talking about perhaps later this year or early next year. And you never know, maybe we'll see you back there again. So
thank you.
With everything like that out of the way, I know I'll let you know, Joao, that I've made you a co-host here. So if you wanted to you know, to share your screen, you can.
Yes.
Because the topic today is about developing a game model, and how the game model is used in a coach and team organization. And so if you've got that here, I'll let you go ahead and get started, and maybe I'll be listening and I'll be, you know, chiming in with some questions here and there when I think it's appropriate. But I'll let everyone else know as well. Like all of our webinars here, you know, Joao is presenting, but please feel free. We want to make it interactive. If you want to ask questions, use the chat box or use the little Q&A feature, and I'll do my best to screen them, and we'll get through as many you know, of your questions as we can. So Joao, I'll let you get started and you know, talk to us about the role of the game model.
Okay, very well. So to start directly to the subject, my idea about coaching, about the how I think the training process, how I think the game of football, soccer, as you understand, you will listen to me to mention football because we are used to and not soccer, but it's the same. My ideas about this lay on the complexity sciences framework and the dynamic systems theory. As I wrote here, I see the process as a whole, as something that is indivisible, something that is connected with everything. For example, the player himself is a hyper-complex structure and interacts all the time with his context, the team, which is even more complex. With his action, the player influences the team, and the team, of course, regulates the action of the player. So what is really a system? We speak normally about the tactical system, the system of play. Should we call to the 4-3-3, the 4-4-2, whatever, tactical system? I honestly prefer to denominate structure, tactical structure, because these numbers represent a structure, but then there are a net of involvement between the players, the relationships between them, that I would say represent the system, all the interactions between the players. The game has some demands to the players. The game is has a characteristic of unpredictability, and the way we deal with this unpredictability is trying to have some dynamic balance, to have some order, to deal with the unpredictability. And this order, this idea of harmony, of dynamic balance, is given by the structure of the game model. So here is the game model. Okay, so the game model is made about the ideas that we have, the concepts, the tactical concepts that we have, the behaviors that we want to observe in the team, to give some regulation to the game and to control this unpredictability. Okay, so after this introduction, a little more abstract, but to let you understand how I see in the theoretical basis the training process, we will move forward. So about the game model. The game model is influenced mainly for the coach's game idea, as you see. Okay, so I have a game idea. Richard has his game idea, the concepts that he likes, independent on the team that he is coaching at the moment. So it's the tactical ideas that we like, that we love to watch, that we develop for ourselves, and that independent on the team that we are working on, that we like to be observed. But then we have to take into account the characteristics of the culture, the culture of the country, the culture of the club, which of course influences the way we will implement our game idea, the concepts of the game idea is different. For example, if we are working in FC Barcelona, or if we are working in eventually Liverpool, for example, they have very strong game cultures, and the coach, of course, they for sure try to have a coach that fulfills that idea that is related to the club's culture, but the coach himself has to adapt to that culture. Then another important thing is the players' characteristics. Considering the players' characteristics, we have already to adapt some of our concepts. And then something that is important is we want to implement, when we are developing a game model, working with the concepts of our game idea, the players themselves, they add something according with their characteristics, according with their experiences, according with their intelligence, their skills. And this will add something as well to the game model. So I would say the game model is something that we observe, is something more objective that we can see when we observe a match. And this the sum of all these issues that I have here at this slide.
Would you say it's influenced by all of these factors?
Yes, influenced by all of these factors. Yes, yes, exactly. There are three issues that I consider important, independent of being attacking or defending. One of them is initiative. I like to implement in my teams the thing of being of having initiative, having the ball, trying to have the ball, trying to control the game with the ball, trying to lead the game, and even when defending, to try to define the pathways for the opponent, to try to trap them, making them play to the zones that we want. So initiative. Then intentionality. What I mean with intentionality, and again, defending and attacking. Every movement, every passing line has to have an intention. It's important that players don't move random. If they, for example, if they are stopped, if they stand still, if they are standing still, they should have a purpose for that. So all the situations in the pitch regarding the movement of the players, regarding their actions, should have a purpose, should have an intention. Okay. Finally, the dynamic balance. What I mean, and regarding again the dynamic complex, the complexity of the dynamic systems, the idea is when attacking and when defending to have all the time dynamic balance. What I mean is, for example, when I am attacking, players should give different options, should give options, for example, to ask the ball in behind, to ask the ball in between, to give options in width, to give offensive cover to the player with ball, to prevent the loss, to give passing lines in the ball zone to the player with ball. And when the ball moves to another player and to another player, this balance, because it's dynamic, is always self-regulating all the time. So other players may give the options in behind, and after that, if they didn't receive the ball, eventually they one player that gave that option comes and gives option between lines, and other player gives option in behind. So this kind of self-regulation all the time when the ball moves from player to player, from corridor to corridor, is what I call the offensive dynamic balance. Defending, the same. When we are defending, we organize the team to press the ball, to press the passing lines around the ball, to position according with the teammates, and of course according with the opponents. But when the ball moves, this dynamic balance, defensive dynamic balance, self-regulates. So other player will press the ball, other players will press the passing line. So this idea of dynamic balance when we are defending. This is the way how we can organize the game. So the offensive and defensive organization, I think, is common to the coach education courses. Defensive and offensive transition, the offensive and defensive set pieces. I will focus on this communication more on the offensive organization and defensive organization because we don't have much time. Regarding game idea, as to simplify, for me, the game idea again is what I have in mind. The concepts that independent. I'm not coaching now, unfortunately. I hope not for a long time. But I have these concepts that I will share with you, for me, as important concepts that I want to promote, independent on the teams. Has to do with my game idea. But then I will show you some videos from my last experience, as Richard mentioned, the Morocco national team under 20s, and you will see some training situations. So this has to do with the game model. I'm implementing my game idea, so it results in the game model for the team, because I take into consideration the culture of the Moroccan Federation, the characteristics of the players, etc. Okay. So offensive organization. One of the issues, I have this for me more detailed, but I want to give you the global and general ideas about the concepts that I have. One, for me, when we have the ball, more than defining the pathway, like ball in the center back, passes to the right back, the winger comes to give frontal support, and I don't believe on these kind of pathways. When I started learning football, was a little like that, like trying to practice a lot some pathways for them to I don't know how to say in English, but to reproduce in the game the same pathway.
You think you're almost like memorizing a pattern.
Yeah, memorizing, exactly. I don't believe on that. I believe on searching spaces. To look, the players should look around and see where the space is, and play on the spaces. Try to use the spaces to look around and see where they see the space is clear to use. Is it in behind the opponent's defense? Is it between lines? If they don't have the block compact, can we play between lines? Or can we play, they are compact, they are very short, ball is pressed, it's difficult to play in behind. So can we play on the lateral corridors? Where is the space? So the first thing. And then if it is not very clear where the space is, so let's try to create conditions to create space. For example, to attract the opponent to a certain zone, and then very fast to move the ball and to use the space that was released because they were trying to concentrate on that zone. If we don't have space between lines, to try to make some movements in behind, and eventually the opponent's defense, the defensive line, will go back a little bit because they are afraid with the movements on their back, and we will be stretching the block and have space to play in between. So these kind of strategies to create more space to use afterwards. The idea of offensive dynamic balance that I already told you. So team self-regulating, giving all the possible options in width, in behind, in between, offensive cover, passing lines, preventing ball lost, and self-regulating when the ball moves from one zone to another zone all the time, regulating, team balanced all the time. To create passing lines permanently, I used to say to the players, everyone with the idea of intentionality that I mentioned in the beginning, everyone should be giving a passing line. Everyone should try to position to be useful to the team, even not to be used directly as a passing line, but eventually indirectly. So in 2 passes, the ball can go to the player. So they should position with intelligence regarding this idea of promoting solutions to the teammates, to the player with the ball. Very important, the passing quality. I will show you some videos, but just to give that idea of the importance of the quality of the pass. I become crazy, honestly, when in short distances, players don't put tension in the ball, ball in the ground, because it's, as you know, much easier to receive the ball. It's more difficult for the opponent if the pass is tense. It's more difficult to be intercepted. So it's something that, sorry, I touched in the wrong side, in the wrong place. Okay, here. This is, as I told you, the Moroccan under-20s national team. Shouldn't be that slide. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, just a minute.
Sorry, previous?
Yes, should be previous, but no, it's that one.
This one.
That one, yes. This is could be a simple passing exercise, but that I use it as warm-up. But I like to say is more than just a warm-up. I will put it running on. As you see, I'm here calling the attention. I'm here with mask. This was during the pandemic. I'm telling them.
You're in Morocco there with the mask on?
Yes, yes, yes. So we couldn't train during this time. We couldn't train with opposition. For example, we had to improve with situations without opposition because we had to make to maintain certain distances between players. But here I was emphasizing the importance of the quality of the pass. As you will see, also using the opportunity to work the counter movement. So players doing counter, moving to distract the opponent, and then to move to support, to give passing line, as you are going to see. So, good pass, ball in the ground, a simple exercise, but with the quality of the pass. Okay, see the counter movement, to try to have some more time to receive the ball. I'm exemplifying there with the guy, with the player, okay, telling him to move, to trick the opponent and receive the ball with more time and space. Okay. Not going well with this slide, sorry. It's better like that. Sorry, I know already what is happening. I think I will fix it. Okay. Then, to identify the free man, the spare man, another concept. For example, when we play with the goalkeeper, automatically we have that free man, the goalkeeper. But normally, when we are playing more in front, we would say, for example, the second phase of build-up, when the ball is in the midfielders, for example. Normally, we have another free man, normally. Why? Because normally, the team that is defending likes to have superiority in the defense, one more defender than the opponents. So if that happens, it means that we have one free man. So let's find out the free man and try to play with him. Another idea, so big concepts when we have the ball. When the player is pressed and with the back to the opponent's goal, frontal support and layoff pass. I hope these expressions are okay in English, that you understand.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So, yes. So, of course, there are players with very skillful, and they can rotate through the opponent with the ball controlled. But as a rule, the idea of my teammate is pressed, is going to receive the ball, is pressed, with the back to the opponent's goal, frontal support is mandatory, and for him to have the possibility of doing a layoff pass. Okay, another video. So using the same organization, and here the concept that comes after, I would mention, the concept of the third man. Sometimes when it's more difficult to find the free man, this concept of the third man could help us to disrupt the defensive organization of the opponent. And here, in a very simple exercise, without opposition, we are working that. We are warming up, but we are at the same time doing this passing exercise with intelligence. So not only passing the ball and running, yes, they are passing the ball and running, but also with game ideas. So the idea of working systemic, in a systemic way, that everything is connected with everything. So here we are working concepts important for our game model that I want to be observed in the 11v11. You are going to see after 11 against, or a 10v0 plus goalkeeper situation. So concepts that we are developing here in a simple way to be observed in more complex situations. So as you can see, the ball goes to that guy. Imagine that this guy is marked, this this mannequin is the opponent, is marking him. The ball goes to the second man, and he rotates and gives frontal support, and this guy represents the third man. So he will receive the ball, face to the opponent's goal, and he can play. Okay, so we could release one player, the third man, and we are playing face to the opponent's goal. We could disrupt the defensive organization of the opponent. Here again, so they are warming up. They are doing passes with quality. They are, but also practicing some important concepts for our offensive organization.
Joao, would you call
Yes.
let's say this concept of intentionality? Let's say
Yes.
that the movements that the frontal supporting player is doing and everything, that again, you're not just asking him to run, you're asking him to imagine that he's being marked,
Of course,
make a move to lose. So
of course,
this is that concept of intentionality, yes. Even in the warm up, even in the beginning of training.
Exactly, exactly. They are doing that movements with intelligence, with an intention. They are thinking in the game what can happen. We are reproducing a little part of what can happen in the game, in that simple exercise of warm-up.
Is it difficult to get players to have intentionality throughout the entire training, or like, is that a...
I think it's a habit as well. We have to create that habit. We have to create some moments to have fun in the right moments. But when the training session is running on, maximum concentration, because they have to train as they play, and to play the exigence on the concentration is very high, so it has to be like that. So the third man is here. The body shape is very important when we are speaking about passes, about passing lines, creating passing lines. The body shape, the position, how we position our feet to receive the ball, we are communicating with our teammates. If I put my feet in the direction of the opponent's goal, I'm asking the ball in front. I'm asking the ball forward. If I turn my back to the opponent's goal, I'm communicating, I'm telling them I don't want the ball. Or at least, or eventually, I can be used to work the concept of third man. Okay, so to work that, the importance of the body shape is crucial, in my opinion. Normally, I tell the players the importance of receiving the ball in half turn. Okay, so we can give speed to the game if we first checking shoulders, first scan, and if we have space to play forward, then half turn, positioning in half turn. Okay, and now I will show to you the video that was running before. This is a situation of 10 attacking, so the 10 field players attacking without opposition, just some mannequins to give some references, and the goalkeeper there. Again, not because I love to do situations without opposition, but at that context we couldn't, as I told you, but even without opposition, we can do the things as before on those simple exercises. We can do these situations with intelligence, with intentionality, that I think you are going to see on this exercise. So I gave them just some concepts, like, for example, here, probably probably I told them it's closed here, the left corridor, closed, just that. I was screaming, closed, and then they know that they can't play forward and they find other solutions, okay? In this case, diagonal, long pass, and all the players, even the players here, the defenders, the left back that you are watching here, they are moving like if the opponents were there, okay? They are not moving randomly. They are acting as in a real situation. I'm not defining pathways, okay? I just gave them concepts. Like, for example, here, I'm here, I was telling them I'm here, and I was telling them something that I wanted to promote, to use this opportunity to promote, which was, this is the left back, this is the winger, and this is the, in a 4-3-3, that was the structure, 4-3-3 with 1-2 in the middle. This guy was the left midfielder. So I was telling them that independent on which one of these three players of the corridor give that, one of them should give that option. One of them should give the option in width to open up. The other one between lines, and the other one offensive cover. This one. So if the left back is here, the winger is here, and the midfielder is here, for me is the same. Or if I have the left back, as I will put a little bit back. See, this is the winger. See the movement, and this is the left back. See. Okay? Different options, and I'm representing the midfielder. That's why he's here standing still. I'm representing the midfielder. So this kind of interaction between them to make it more difficult to the opponent. For example, for the right back, during some seconds, you will be in doubt between following the winger inside or staying opened because of the left back. So this dynamic, this interaction between societies of players, the players that play close each other, I consider it's important to as some tools to try to make problems to the opponent. Okay, I will move on. So I used this possibility to explain them, but I was explaining them the idea, and then they should do it or not with intelligence. Okay. So again, they decided to do or not. No, this is the winger. Okay, this is the winger. It's closed. So they are, and have you seen on the other side? They are doing that rotation. This guy is the winger. The guy that is going up is the right back, and this one that dropped is the midfielder. They did it on the other side. Only one guy is stopped because I had two forwards in the exercise, so they were changing. Here, I was telling them how to integrate the concept of the third man, telling that this guy was marked, was not possible to receive the ball, so to use the second man to release that one. So tell them the concepts, to make them integrate what we have done before, and then their decisions, just giving ideas and allowing them to decide, and making them all the time self-regulating the dynamic offensive balance. So here comes the ball, closed. I'm not sure if the video is working well because of the internet. I hope you can understand. Not sure because
Great.
yes,
Yeah, it's very clear. It's very clear.
Yeah. Okay. So they are switching. See here the. Not sure if you could see. Now the third man, the concept of third man. Here, look, I didn't say, oh, I'm sorry. Again, I'm really sorry.
It's all right. You can rewind it.
Yeah, maybe around here. Yes, I think.
Right after they brought it around, back to the
Yes.
left side, right?
Yes, here. I didn't tell them nothing. But see, they are using this guy and no, not the, no, this was the, they moved to the central corridor and they know, I told them, ball in the central corridor, I want the wingers doing the diagonals inside. So they immediately, they did that, okay? Yeah, now the third man, I put here, it's in Portuguese to help me. Yeah. Here you will see the concept of third man. This guy is closed, number 6, he can't play. So the ball in the forward and he released the midfielders and they could play forward.
And just, you know, kind of touching on what you said there, that number 6 in that last example, he pretty much knows he's not going to get the ball, but his role is still to try to draw defenders away.
Yes.
So that the pass to the other midfielder is more open.
Yes, yes. If he's marked, he's dragging the opponent to release some space for the ball to open the passing line. So
speaks to the concept of the whole team having a purpose when they move, not just the one or two that are involved in the pass. Yeah.
Yes, all of them should think. Even the player that is far away from the ball, where he should be positioned. Xavi Hernandez, about the concept of third man, he was still a player when he said something that I put here. The third man is impossible to defend. Of course, is exaggerating, but in fact, it's not easy because the player is marked, and when the ball goes on the back of the defenders, the guys that are marking, for a certain moment they lose the direct reference, and the teammate knows the purpose, so immediately faces to the second man, to the guy that received the ball, and they appeared as third man. So this is the idea. Okay, so moving on, because we don't have much time. Speeding the ball. It's considering the of defensive organization and the idea of the self-regulation of the defensive organization of the opponent. The references that they have when they press the ball, when they press the passing lines. If we put speed in the ball, when we circulate the ball, it's more difficult for the opponent to adapt systematically and to keep the defensive dynamic balance. Hope you understand the idea. So if I move the ball quickly, I make it more difficult to the opponent to self-regulate the defensive organization, the references that they have to press, to block the passing lines, etc. The interaction dynamics, I already told you. For example, that example, I had an exercise here, but you have already seen with the example in the lateral corridor with the winger, fullback, and midfielder. So these kind of societies between the players that play nearby. Something that is important comes from a concept of FC Barcelona. You see here Professor Paco Cerulo, one of the big developers of this theory of identifying the advantages, the numerical, positional, effective, and qualitative advantage. The idea is to see where we have the advantage and to use it. For example, many teams try to play from the back just because, yes, sometimes because it's fancy, it's nice because the Man City does that. So if we do that, it's fancy to. And what I like is to see where the advantage is. If we can have superiority playing out from the back, great. But sometimes, considering the way the opponents press high, we don't have, or it is not clear that superiority, is not clear that advantage of playing out from the back. So the advantage could be on playing in our forwards. If they are, for example, 3 against 3, we can stretch them in width and almost play 1v1. And if we have a player very strong dribbling, we have the qualitative advantage. If he receives the ball, is 1v1. Okay, so where is the advantage? And let's use it. These would be some images about the game for you to see the offensive phase of that team. I will skip. And now about defensive organization. I think differently comparing with the offensive organization. When I spoke about the offensive organization, I told you about the importance of allowing the decision-making of the player. To give the players some concepts, some principles, tactical principles, but allowing them to decide. When defending, I believe that we should reduce the freedom to decide. I feel the players need to know exactly where they should be positioned, when they should move up, when they should press, who should press. I think they will feel more secure if they know exactly what to do in every single circumstance. The idea is that everyone thinks the same at the same time. When to move up, when they move up, all the team moves up and stops exactly at the same time. Because if not, we may have problems. We may be putting an opponent on side, so not offside. I will show to you some exercises quickly. Here, I was concentrated in the back four, so the idea of 4-3-3 against the under-20s. The back four, giving them some rules regarding tactical behaviors. For example, the positioning of the feet, how they should position their feet considering the position of the ball. If the ball is on the central corridor, if the ball is on the lateral corridor, how should they position their feet? That's what I'm teaching them there. I will skip a little bit with the video. For example, here, the left back is pressing the ball. Who leads these three guys? This center back. The first man leads, is the leader of the defensive line. And for me, it's not you can have different ideas, but here I was defining what I want. I wanted the second center back in the same line. and the fullback in the same line of the second center back. So one line here. And they know exactly, for example, when the ball crosses the boxes line, I don't want the offensive cover in another line. I want just one line because this space is covered for the goal by the goalkeeper. So lots of ideas. We don't have time to tell them all, but for example, also, if possible, first center back aligned with the near post. The right back, so the full back of the other side in the line of the second post. So my idea is giving them references for them to be, again, to close their decision making. They should know exactly when, where to position and when to move up or down. Okay, I will. So only this is to work the coordination between the back four. And then I will move up a little bit or skip a little bit, telling them that if a crossing situation, I was telling him that, for example, if he was here, if the line is here, when the ball goes to a crossing situation, a diagonal, I'm telling him that, diagonal to the zone of the first post to protect the goal. The idea, crossing zone, 3 guys protecting the goal. Here, of course, I want cover. I want defensive cover, but we will have the winger, we will have the midfielder to fill this space, okay? Moving up.
I see what you mean, though, Joao, about
yes.
as opposed to, you know, with the offensive organization, you're sort of giving ideas and concepts.
Yes.
There's a lot more, you know, free thinking.
Yes. Yes.
With the defending, you're essentially you're telling them where you want them to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah.
Very low freedom for decision making. Yes, some. In some circumstances, they can decide, but they should understand what would be the options for them to decide, but with intelligence and according with our concepts. Okay, now they are playing. Okay, and I'm focused here on the coordination between the interaction between the four. To skip again, for example, if the ball is here, this guy doesn't need to go inside the goal's box, okay? This is the space for the goalkeeper and other things, okay? Here, interaction between the back four and the player position number 6 between commas, okay? What's his role here? This is what I'm coaching at this situation. So the others are trying to play, and I'm focused on the players on the back four plus the number 6. Okay. Again, not dealing well with this. Better like that. So I will give you some other examples very quick. This was the first situation was before COVID with opposition, but now during the pandemic, remembering, so working these concepts with the guys, I put some mannequins with different colors and representing where is the ball and working with the back four and the center midfielder. Okay, so refreshing some ideas, even because some new players here, I will skip a little bit. So fullback pressing the ball. Now the ball is here in the central corridor. This guy is not well. This guy is not well. The body shape is wrong. And I'm telling him he should first close this space, and then, because he should be aware of the winger of the opponent, his direct opponent, so he should be positioned closing this space, but with the body shape prepared to press the direct opponent if the ball comes here. Okay, so this kind of, I believe it's important to work. Of course, this is without opposition, but the good thing is to do it with game-related situations, with opponents, with goals, with them when they steal the ball, they try to play and to score. So, but here, as I told you, we couldn't do that, so we were using the possibility that we had. Okay. Another situation, similar, still during the pandemic, working the ball in behind. So when there's a long pass, how we deal with that? Here, the ball is pressed, now not pressed, and okay, I believe all these situations should be trained, should be worked. Not dealing well with the slides, but okay. Communication between the players, I believe when these situations are very well trained, we don't need to communicate with our voice a lot, okay? They can communicate with the movement. But sometimes, for example, defending, when to press the midfielders, helping the forward, telling him, okay, you can go, you can press, because your back, it means your back is covered. So you can go, press, go. This kind of communication. To define the pressing triggers, when we are supposed to press, which zones, which stimulus, when we should move up our block, when we have to stop. It's very important to define exactly which moment is the moment to stop the block, to move up, mainly the defensive line, because it can't happen that one player of the defensive line stops moving up before the others, because it's sufficient to have a ball on our back and putting someone on side, okay? And then as references, when we are defending, first we position according with the ball and the teammates, so coordination inside the team, as you were watching on those exercises. So we were working the coordination between the players of the back four, then the back four with the center midfielder. So this coordination is very important, and as well to take into account the opponents, okay? I think this is the last slide. Then we have some minutes for any questions if you want, or if you want to interrupt Richard, please feel free. If you have any questions, it's up to you.
So far, so good. Let's see this and
finish.
We'll see.
Okay,
I'm surprised
perfect.
Nobody asked any questions though. But
okay,
I'll encourage
okay.
everyone. Please, feel free. But let's
okay,
keep going.
Yeah. Other concepts about the defensive organization: to keep the block short in length and width. As I told you in the beginning, when I spoke about initiative, to try to drive the ball pathway of the opponent, making the opponent play to the players or zones where eventually they are weaker and that we have more conditions to have success pressing. To press the ball, not be eliminated, to do not give time and space to the player, the opponent with the ball, to think, to take decisions, so ball pressed. To constrain the space of intervention, I mean to reduce the vision of the player with ball. For example, I will put this video running. I'm focused on the red team, which is pressing medium high. So the ball, the blue team is playing out from the back, and I'm telling them how to position to press, to drive the opponent to this side, to this center back, to attract them to play at this zone, and then to press them here. Skip a little bit. Yeah, here. So the movement in L, closing this passing line and making them play to that side, close, first to close inside and then to try to trap them here. They could play. Again, here I think I was telling this guy that after, when he feels that the ball comes, is the moment to press, because they cannot change anymore. Okay, so repeating this idea. Yeah. Also, as I spoke about the advantages when we are attacking, to try to eliminate the opponent's advantages, to close the passing lines. This is a concept that I think it's interesting to share with you. To try to close the passing lines in the center of the game, in the zone of the ball, and defend between lines outside the center of the game. So if we want in the zone of the ball to try to have superiority, to have more conditions to win the ball, it means that outside of the ball zone, more far away from the ball, we will have inferiority. So we will have to defend between lines. I mean, for example, the winger, we will have to be positioned between two players to divide his attention for two players if he's far away from the ball. Okay, the concept of defending between lines. If when possible, to press the opponent by the blind side, to press him from the zone where he cannot see. Okay, to block him where pressing coming from a zone where he can't see. When in inferiority, to temporize, to allow teammates to recover. And finally, when direct play from the opponent, the behaviors, fight for the first ball, to protect the space in behind, and to try to win the second ball. How? What I tell them is, each one of you, the players that are going to fight for the second ball, you will have to arrive first than your direct opponents. You have to run in front of your direct opponent to win the second ball. And this was a clip as well with some images about the defensive organization. No need to show to you. And then a nice sentence, I believe, that means in general that we don't have to be afraid about thinking, about doing, because normally those who criticize, they have done less than you. So encourage yourself to create, to do things, okay? And I'm free to your questions. I hope I was clear, but we have some minutes if you want to clarify some concepts.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that. And I do see that this must be a Portuguese name, Luis Freitas. Okay.
Yes, for sure. Yes.
Hello to Professor Joao. Maybe he knows you.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah. He says, what do you feel about inside traps? I mean, forcing the opposition to play in the central channel. What about the impact on the offensive transition both perspectives have?
Yes.
Thank you and hope to see you soon.
Yes. Hi, Luis. For example, there are some teams that do that. I think when we are pressing high, could be a good idea to drive the pathway of the opponent to play inside, because if we win the ball in the central corridor nearby the opponent's box, we will have great chances of scoring immediately in counterattack. For example, if you see Liverpool normally closes with the wingers, for example, with Salah and Mane. Normally they try to close the passing line to the fullbacks of the opponent. They press the center backs if they play with a back four. They press the center backs from outside to inside. They make them to play inside, and normally the center forward is controlling the center midfielder. So they are normally they force the opponent to play inside. And if they win the ball on that zone, in the first phase of build-up of the opponent, they will have, imagine, Salah and Mane in good conditions to receive the ball and counterattack, and you can imagine. So I think I agree. I showed you a video where I was driving the opponent to win the ball on that zone strategically, because on that particular match, I consider important to press them there because they showed some weaknesses there. But in general, when pressing high, I think it's a good idea, of course, depending on the characteristics of the opponent's players, depending on our own players' characteristics, but in general, in abstract, I think can be a good idea to make them play inside. Of course, when we are in our midfield, it's preferably we should make them play outside to protect the central corridor, because it's the nearest way to the goal.
Thank you for that. It reminded me that while you were speaking about, maybe if you could go back one slide, I think, your defensive organization. Okay, so yeah, no, forward one.
This one.
Yes. So your point about closing the passing lines in the center of the game, and so I think it just seemed to me like it makes sense that you might want to press at times and encourage a pass central or encourage the play central, but you still need to make sure that you don't get penetrated centrally. So you need compactness in the middle, even though you're encouraging the ball to go there. And I think I wonder if some coaches or players might misunderstand, if we're encouraging it central, it means we want.
Clearly. I may invite the opponent to play inside, but nearby their goal, because of our counterattack. To win the ball close to their box. That would be the reason. Nearby our box, no. Protect inside. Make them play outside.
One more here from my friend Pedro Diaz. Okay.
Oh,
I don't know
hi,
if he's
Pedro.
in Toronto again now, but here he is. He's on the webinar. So in the same topic, how do you feel to block the high center channel and force the outside channels as a trap? After you get the ball there, pressure will be done.
Could you repeat, please? To force?
Yes. Okay.
When
so
defending?
Says,
when defending?
Yeah. So in the same topic, defending, how do you feel to block the high center channel and force the outside channels as a trap?
Yes. Again, it depends on the opponent's characteristics. Imagine that we have that the opponent has the left center back and the left back players with low quality in the control the ball and pass. It could be a good way to drive them to play that side, and then to have more conditions to press and to win the ball on that zone. So again, it depends. We can have like a first idea independent on the opponent, considering our own characteristics. And I would say, as a first idea, I like when pressing high to drive the opponent to play inside, to counterattack close to their goal. But we have to consider the characteristics of our players, opponents' players, and that will define our decision about the strategical plan.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't see any other any questions here. So, and I know I'm pretty sure Joao's got to get going to get to the studio on time, right? Because you're calling a game tonight that starts in an hour and 40 minutes or something.
45 minutes.
Oh,
so I'm rushing with time. 45 minutes. Yes.
Okay. Well, then I'll say muito obrigado. Thank you so much.
De nada.
It's
great
to see
Thank
you
you very much. Thanks to you. It was a pleasure again.
I don't know if you're going to be in Coimbra in June, but I've got a paper that I'm presenting up there at the Science and Soccer. So
we communicate. Then remember me that, and we see if we can meet each other.
Yeah, I'm planning to come with my family, so I'll have to come and come and find you there. But
yes,
thank you
for
so
sure
much
we
again.
will find a possibility.
Yeah, for sure. This was a great presentation. I'm sorry it's noisy here, but
no problem.
I learned a lot, as always. Every time I talk to you, I learn a lot. So thanks again, and
thank you.
I'll just give a quick message, as we always do, to our listeners out there, to everybody. Please, we want to keep putting on webinars like this with awesome guests like Joao. Those of you that are watching, if you're not already a member, consider getting a membership. Tell your friends, tell your coaching colleagues, help us to build these webinars and to keep doing what we do. Thank you so much again, Joao, and congratulations on another World Cup qualification, and maybe Portugal will see Canada in this tournament.
And congratulations to Canada. It was amazing. I know that you are doing a great work in Canada and the Federation, so it's really good. It's really good to see Canada again in a World Cup. It's very good.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you all. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.